Stop wasting compost. This fall shortcut fills raised beds naturally, no compost needed. If you've been gardening for a while, you know the heartbreak of staring at a half-filled raised bed in the fall, wishing you had enough compost to top it off before winter. You tell yourself, I'll make more next year, but next year comes, and the same problem returns. Not enough compost, too much empty space, and soil that never quite seems alive enough. If you've been gardening for a while, you know the heartbreak of staring at a half-filled raised bed in the fall, wishing you had enough compost to top it off before winter. You tell yourself, I'll make more next year, but next year comes, and the same problem returns. Not enough compost, too much empty space and soil that never quite seems alive enough. I've been there too. I remember my first few seasons building raised beds and obsessively trying to fill them all with rich black compost, but the truth is, compost takes time, more time than one fall season usually allows, so instead of stressing about compost shortages or spending a fortune buying bags of the stuff, I discovered a shortcut that not only fills your beds efficiently, but also sets the stage for explosive soil life and fertility come spring. Let's dig into this fall shortcut that will save your back, your wallet, and your soil. The shortcut here is layering organic matter to build soil right in place. Instead of trying to fill your raised beds with finished compost this fall, you can actually build compost directly inside the bed using what's already around you. Think of it as in-bed composting. It's a slow, steady way to create rich soil through the winter months. This method really mimics the natural process of forest soil formation. Leaves fall, plants die back, and then organisms decompose it all into new soil. In your raised bed, you can kind of speed up that process by layering organic materials that break down naturally over time. By spring, your raised bed will have a living foundation teeming with worms, microbes, and humus. It's a method that's resourceful, regenerative, and honestly, ridiculously simple. Step 1. Start with a foundation layer. Begin with what you have plenty of. Woody materials, dried sticks, or, coarse debris. This acts as a base layer that provides aeration and structure. It also mimics a hugelkultur approach where wood acts like a sponge, holding moisture and nutrients for years to come. I like to raid my fall pruning pile for this step. Old tomato vines, trimmed branches, dried corn stalks, all perfect. Spread this layer a few inches thick on the bottom of your raised bed. If you've ever wondered why forest floors stay moist and alive even in dry spells, it's because of this kind of structure beneath the surface. You're essentially creating a mini ecosystem from the ground up. Step 2. Add the brown gold. Fall leaves. Next comes what I like to call brown gold fallen leaves. Every fall, people bag up leaves and set them by the curb, but for soil builders like us, that's free fertility waiting to happen. Gather as many leaves as you can and shred them if possible. Honestly, a lawnmower works great for this. Then, just pile them in your bed. Leaves are rich in carbon and minerals, but they need nitrogen to break down, which brings us to the next layer. If you can, mix the leaves lightly with green material like fresh grass clippings, garden trimmings, or even kitchen scraps. This carbon-nitrogen balance is what really fuels decomposition and turns raw material into beautiful soil. Step 3. Add the green layer. Now it's time to add something with a bit of life. Your greens. These materials are high in nitrogen and help speed up decomposition. Think fresh plant matter, vegetable scraps, or spent garden plants that haven't gone to seed. If you've got access to manure, chicken, rabbit, goat, or cow, this is the perfect time to mix in a thin layer. It's a natural nitrogen booster and will help those leaves break down faster. Just make sure it's not too fresh because overly hot manure can burn plant roots later on. This step transforms your bed into a living compost pile, but without the turning, hauling, or waiting in a bin all year. Everything breaks down quietly under cover while you rest up for spring. Step 4. Add a soil or compost cap. Finally, Just cover your layers with a few inches of soil or whatever compost you do have on hand. This top layer, well, it locks in moisture, helps prevent smells, and creates a perfect zone for worms and microbes to work from. If you're low on compost, don't worry. Even an inch or two will do the trick. You can even use last season's garden soil or a mix of topsoil and sand if that's what you've got. The idea here is to give the organic matter below a light cover to start the natural decay process. This cap also protects the bed from harsh winter exposure. Think of it as tucking your soil in for a cozy winter nap. Step 5. Water, cover, and let nature do its work. Once your bed is layered, give it a good soak. Moisture is essential for decomposition, then cover the bed with a thick mulch layer, straw, more leaves, or even a tarp if you want to keep it neat and protected. Over the winter, fungi, bacteria, and worms will transform those layers into soft, crumbly soil. You won't see much action at first, but trust me, below the surface, your soil is coming alive. When spring rolls around, you'll pull back that mulch and find a rich, dark layer ready for planting. No back-breaking digging, no endless compost piles, just nature doing what it does best. Why does this shortcut work, you might be wondering? Well, this method works because it actually builds soil right in place. Instead of composting in a pile and then transferring the finished product, you're just letting decomposition happen exactly where your plants will grow. This has several major benefits. First, worms move in early. The organic matter attracts worms, which aerate the soil and leave behind nutrient-rich castings. Next, microbial life really thrives. Fungi and bacteria break down materials in balance, creating a living, breathing soil ecosystem. Moisture retention also improves, since the layered structure helps trap moisture, which means you'll need to water a lot less next season. And finally, waste becomes fertility. You're recycling what would otherwise be discarded, leaves, trimmings, food waste, and turning it into, honestly, soil gold. And best of all, it saves money. Compost can be expensive to buy, especially in bulk, but this shortcut uses what's freely available every fall and turns it into long-term fertility. The secret ingredient, honestly, is patience. This fall shortcut isn't really about instant gratification, it's about working with nature instead of against it. The real magic, happens over the months when your garden is resting. By spring, your raised bed will be a living sponge full of organic matter, structure, and fertility. And hey, if some materials haven't fully broken down yet, that's totally fine. Just top the bed with a few inches of compost or soil before planting, and let the rest continue decomposing beneath your crops. I've used this exact method for years, and honestly, the results are incredible. Deeper roots, richer soil, fewer weeds, and better yields. My beds have gone from lifeless boxes to self-sustaining ecosystems, and it all started with a simple shift in mindset. Stop chasing finished compost and start building soil naturally. When you fill your raised beds this fall using organic layers instead of pure compost, you're not just preparing for next season, you're building the foundation for years of soil health. This method regenerates your soil every season. Each fall you can refresh the top with more leaves and trimmings, and the layers below will continue composting in place. Over time, you'll notice your beds get richer, darker, and more alive, all without ever buying another bag of compost again. So, before you rush out to buy compost this fall, take a look around your yard. Those leaves, stalks, and trimmings are your next generation of soil. You don't need fancy inputs, you just need nature's cycle on your side. Building soil in place is the SoilSage way: resourceful, regenerative, and real. If you found this article helpful, make sure to subscribe to SoilSage Chronicles on YouTube for more practical, down-to-earth gardening wisdom. Share this post with your fellow gardeners, and let's spread the word. Great soil doesn't come from a bag. It's something we build, one fall layer at a time. Let's grow soil, not just plants.